despite the bigotry and ignorance of animal rights activists, and I'm not mentioning Mr. Packham, we have generations of gamekeepers to thank for their vigilance in protecting the vulnerable from being swamped in a sea of adaptive predators.
In a small restaurant in the top corner of Anglesey, folk gather to raise money through donations and an auction for the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust and the NGO's Educational Trust.
A brand new steel chainsaw. Hooray!
They have also come to hear guest speaker Sir Johnny Scott, best known for his appearances on the BBC TV series Clarissa and the Countryman. Fieldsports enthusiast and businessman David Souter arranged the event with Steve McGuigan, a volunteer with the NGO's Educational Trust. Johnny speaks of his admiration for the trusts we are there to support and his concerns for the future. He has some kind words to say about us.
The situation for all of us is very grim, but there are signs of a fight back. At least we have the Fieldsports Channel, which we didn't have before. There is a new Fieldsports organisation called Hunting Kind, which has now worked up a legal case for minority protection of an ethnic hunting community, and the outcome of that is looking very positive.
Of course, there has to be a Clarissa Dickson Wright anecdote, and he doesn't disappoint.
When Clarissa and I heard that the antis had got round the BBC and they weren't going to make any more programmes, we went and tried to argue our case. We were told that there was absolutely no way the antis had caused far too much trouble. And old Clarissa was absolutely furious. And that night we were we were due to present the prizes at the Purdy Awards, and she was still muttering and grumbling as we went in. And I said, "Here, look, wake up, we've got to say something, you realise." And she said, "Are we? What are you going to say?" And I said, "Well, it's about shooting and conservation, so I suppose I'll better bang on about that." And she said, "Well, I'm sure that'll be fascinating. What about me? What shall I say?" And I said, "Well, why don't you say something nice about the BBC?" And so when we'd handed over the prizes, I droned on about shooting and conservation and said, "Now, I'd like to hand you over to my television partner, Clarissa Dickson Wright, who snatched the microphone from me. When she was angry, she used to inflate like a toad." And she kicked off by saying, "Your Graces," because there were a few dukes there, "Your Graces, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to shooting and conservation, the BBC show about as much intelligence as three monkeys trying to a football." Well, that put an end to our career with the BBC.
The event raises more than £1,000. Links to the GWT and the NGO below.